Sessions in the fucking building, man. Yes, episode sir. Goddamn 8. It's your boy Wop-Topulous.
It's your boy Autumn, yeah. Got some special guests in the building, man. Y'all introduce yourself.
Feel me? It's Ohziii Lov3.
Your boy Chef X in the building.
Yeah, Zooty Gang in the fucking building, man.
Zooty Gang, man.
Zooty to the universe,
All
man.
top, you gotta let us know, man. Zooty Gang. Come on, what do you mean?
Man, Zooty is a way of life, man. It's a lifestyle. It's a couple different things. I'm gonna say my partner, my brother, he has a perspective, and that's really what it is too. It's basically combining both our worlds into one coexisting, but you know, my aspect is about bringing that pure energy, health and wealth, and just really bringing a higher, elevated way of thinking, or whatever that means. But for me, the way we embody it is just like to think outside the box. You know, we trippy, we do smoke, you know, we get high, but at the same time, it's really about living a higher lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So
higher lifestyle, higher expectation, you know what I'm saying? Higher standards.
Set the bar.
Exactly.
Right. Shoot for the stars.
It's a whole world. Exactly. Shoot for the stars. That's why it's a planet. It's like it's
a whole world.
It's a whole world.
Exactly.
Universal.
Yeah.
Exactly. But
Growing
up, like niggas used to always say, like being zooted, cause like being in the East Coast, like we from the East Coast, so like you can't go around like you in Cali being like, yo, I'm a high, bro. I got weed on me or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like
so it's like
different words.
It's like
Yeah.
you at work or whatever, you know, you come up and you see your homie like, well, I'm zooted as
Right.
you
That's right. We just ain't zooted out here too, actually.
So like, you feel me? So that's also where that shit really comes from, is just being zooted, being high as fuck, and still living life. You feel me?
Right.
Like, cause that was the one thing I always hated, or excuse me, that's a strong word, but I always like disliked when I did smoke weed and I was never able to enjoy my high. Being at work, you feel me? I always had to be like, you know what I mean? But niggas was always zooted, so that's why I just got to the point where I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna smoke my weed and I'm gonna be in everybody's face. Fuck it, I'm zooted.
Because that's one thing too, like where we're from, like weed is really like looked down upon and shit. So like a lot of our homies that we used to work with, like for the summertime jobs and shit, we always used to smoke before work and then be the best people at work. Right. So like we would be laughing at motherfuckers like, you know, little do they know, because we had to keep it so underground. Yeah. You feel me? Like
that bullshit just.
Yeah, like you gotta keep it so underground. So like you at work, not only high, but then you got a couple homies that's high. So it's like,
man, you just be straight faced, cool. No order was fucking wrong.
Okay, yeah. You zooted.
I didn't know you was gonna be on some bullshit.
Right.
Alright, smoke.
And that's how Zooty Gang really started, because it was like the homies that we would smoke with all zooted. That just became Zooty Gang. Cause like Zooty Gang has really been like, it's been like we had that tatted. Like I had that tattoo. That was our first tattoo. But it was before it was even what it is now. Like a lot of people was like, oh, you named your dog. Like people think because we have a puppy that we name everything after Zooty. But actually, Zooty is something that we manifested for years.
So it's a constant.
Like it's a concept that we manifested. Like, and now it's really coming into fruition. Not only with just the music, but just us be able to really get to the point of basically living our dreams and like being activated in that, and being in the present moment, and like basically not waiting for an opportunity and just taking it.
Yeah, you gotta
feel me?
Grab it. Yeah, manifest it for sure. Take it by the reins. So give us a background of your origins. You know what I'm saying? Where you guys originally from?
We're from New Jersey, originally South Jersey. You know what I mean?
609, you heard?
609 to the definitely gang shit.
Yeah, real shit.
But yeah, so it's a place called Lang City, and that's where all of our family's from. And then you know what I mean?
What's it like out there?
Man, it is weird as fuck.
But it's dope though. It's seasonal.
Whatever the best way to compare it is apple to an orange to here. Like you can't even draw something, you know what I mean? Because you have to like take away from something drastically to compare.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like
Okay.
Jersey, like take away like the negatives of like, you know, just East Coast and being a black man out there. I'm not saying that is a negative, but just like just looking at the space period out there, it's hella cool because you're on the water and you're on land at the same time.
Real shit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not like you kind of like in LA and it's like, I'm explaining this wrong, but it's just like, oh, it's like a beach town.
You get best of both
it's
worlds.
It's not really
right?
a beach town
But
because you can enjoy the beach, but
it's 4 seasons in Atlantic City is like Vegas on water. So like in the summertime that shit is lit. But in the wintertime it's very hard because
Atlantic City's in New Jersey.
Yeah, so basically
I'm late as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I did not
you
know
the boardwalk, you know, all the boxing and all that stuff.
Yeah, but you gotta think. So basically, you gotta think. You know how people don't have jobs right now because of coronavirus? Think of that happening every winter, no matter what was gonna happen. So everybody is gonna be employed, but then every time they accept mad jobs, and then mad people get laid off. So it's always that point of like a point where it's, you gotta thug it out, or you have to have something like a lot of people have 2-3 jobs because. If you're not in there for a couple years, like you're good. And the thing is, a lot of people who do well, like if you were to go to high school and shit, you do good, like end up at the fucking casino. That's why we got out. Like it's only to be successful. It felt like to be there, you got to be like a police officer, a firefighter, a teacher, or work in a casino. And like if not, or just be in the streets. And it's just like.
Not too many
or sports. And the thing is, with sports, there's so much politics, and I'm not going to go in there because that's what he's trying to say, like, not to bring the politics. And the thing is, it really took us to go away to really realize how hard it is for people like us to succeed where we're from. Because we're from there, so we already know the typical bullshit. But when we go back there and it's like red fucking flags hanging around, you're like, whoa!
Y'all are
we left at the right time. We didn't even know it was rah-rah. Like,
it was
Trump.
It was like, I didn't even know back when he first got elected.
Yeah.
And big signs. Like,
So,
all that shit. But the thing is, just imagine, I'm not going to like, alright. Just imagine that energy is already there without Trump being in office. That's all I'm going to say.
You can feel that energy.
Yeah. But that's what I'm trying to say. That's a little bit of the difference between, well, I don't want to say difference. That's just like the dynamics of racism in America because wherever you're at, the form that it takes, it comes in a different shape. So the way it comes in where we're from, it comes a little bit different than it comes out in California.
Yeah, we got barbecue Betty's and.
But it's real. It's real out here because it's what's dangerous about ours is it's intrinsic. So it's like you won't even know. Well, you feel it, but it's like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Cause like they'll never say it, but you know they weighing you down, they doing little shit, jabbing at you out here. It's like honestly, I was reminded how black I was when I came to California. It shocked me because I was like I didn't even really realize. Like I'm talking about discriminated, turned out, not going into certain places because of what I look like. I was like, that's crazy. I didn't expect that from here. But it just put me privy that it was always there. It just, I didn't expect it to come in like, it didn't come in, I didn't expect to face it like that.
The first time I really experienced it was being in the work industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you always experience it in the work.
Out here, you got motherfuckers smiling in your face and they talking shit behind you like, it was just...
Yeah, you just gave me the fucking wrong with this bitch.
And I know it's from you because you're the only person I told that stupid shit to. So that's cool.
That's the worst part, y'all. Like, I mean, that's interesting that y'all say because it's like you was in New Jersey. I would think that it would be the opposite there, where you come down here and you feel like, oh, like you know, it's cool, but like it's different. And it feel like this supposed to be like one of those open spots, but y'all felt like it was, you know.
No, because you know what it is out here. I ain't trying to go into it. It's like when you have a privilege, you have a certain level of swag too, right? So you run this a lot. A lot of that's what people around here, they're so oblivious and so privileged, they just say shit and they don't even really realize how what they're saying. It's like, yo, you really out of pocket right now. And the thing is, it's like we're in that situation. If we were even to turn up, that's why we kind of feel like I would really low key, because if you say anything, you automatically angry.
Yeah.
I'm aggravated.
And especially being a black man, it's hard because like it's like I'm not making an excuse, but it's like, okay, we angry, and then it's like all these different other sensitivity booby traps, I'll call them.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, you know, we can't even really speak how we feel sometimes.
Yeah, it's all
It's
trigger.
like,
You know what I'm
fuck
saying?
that.
All trying to trigger. You know what I'm saying?
You
That-
know?
Just to prove their point that, oh, they're always mad, they're always angry. Look at them, look at them. They're acting
Like
out.
going to get a cup of coffee is difficult because like people don't. I'm not gonna go in there because like people really don't know this
Yeah.
Corona mask shit. Like I'm not knocking, and I'm not going to get into the Corona of the implications of it. But people use it as a scapegoat to say passively things to you, and like they would never do that without that. Like
Right.
even like walking on the other side of the street or like just nitpicking, like it's really wild, you know. And they're leaning on the mask as
Yeah.
a scapegoat.
Right. You can read eyes like a motherfucker. You know what I'm
Hey.
saying? You can read body language.
Language, what the fuck you're saying to me?
Yeah.
How you saying it to me? But again, I'm not trying to go in that direction with the interview because I really don't want to. I'm pushing during these times not to focus on that because
Don't let these
it's
Karens
so
get to you,
many.
man.
Yeah, it's so much dope stuff out
You gotta
here.
pick and choose your battle.
Mhm.
And with the creative world, and it's like this time is like it's scary because like we don't have the same forms and mediums that we used to, but like this is honestly the best time to be the most creative, like
Right.
because like we already don't come from anything, so it's like okay, now we have a somewhat of a same playing field as motherfuckers. Okay,
Mhm.
let's get it.
Oh, it's even playing field.
You know what I'm
is
saying?
game
Even
time, for
though
sure.
it's different, it's never going to be the same. But we have a little bit more opportunity to run with some things right now. You feel
Facts.
me? Like just having the time and space to like.
Sit down and really
Yeah,
think
you
your
feel me?
thoughts out, plan the shit out.
Because you know what?
Put
You
it
know
in
what's a
action.
blessing, bro? Honestly, 2 months before Corona, I left my 9-to-5 job and I was already like working my way to be a full-time entrepreneur.
Mhm.
So by when time Corona fully kicked off, I was already like
In
in
that
my
transition.
bottom. I was
Ready
already
for
at
it.
my bottom.
Mm.
So I couldn't get any lower at that point.
Right.
So it was only a way from there, where a lot of people didn't hit their bottom until like maybe a little bit after. So I already had the conversation that when Corona first happened, I was gonna come out of it a different person.
Yeah.
Because I had 2 months prior we already took steps to be like because we tried to go all in before and it didn't work because of livelihood issues, like
Right.
you know, paying the bills. So we
Mhm.
hop back in the market real quick, got a job because luckily we're both skilled enough to be able and educated enough to go, hop in the market, even though it's difficult, but to go get a bag if we need to go get it real quick. But
Yeah,
we
that's
weren't happy.
Plug
Yeah.
into
You
the
feel me?
matrix.
So like
Man,
2 months
you
before,
plug
we
in,
was
hey.
already I was having sessions in my crib before
Yeah.
we got the studio. I'm talking about every day
Yeah.
with people,
Right.
and then we was throwing my brother and my homie Ish. We were all throwing the treehouse party, so we were really active in the
Yeah.
streets, and we were already having the conversations of being digital. Like I remember last year, me and the homies like, yo, by 2020 we gonna be all digital. Like we going straight digital.
No brick and mortar.
Like we going like we gonna do it, but like we're talking about the presence.
Yeah, it really.
You
it
know,
speaks
so
to the
now
internet.
Corona, you got no choice but to be relevant as an artist, to have some type of internet savviness. You feel me?
You have to. You really do. And
What-
speaking on that, man, I really feel that because, like, I feel like I was at a real rock bottom shit. I feel like I was working my 9-to-5. I feel like I wasn't going anywhere. I was all fucking depressed, just like not going to work. Just like, man, fuck this shit. Bosses don't fuck with me. I'm a token black dude in there. So it's like you get that creative time to sit down and be like, you know, all right, what do I really want to do that's gonna make me happy? That's gonna bring in this money. Yeah, by God's fucking will, man, we fucking started this show, and you know what I'm saying. It's been going good so far. I feel like. So I definitely feel that struggle. for sure.
Elevation is the way you take it. It's the way you
Mhm.
make your maneuvers with it. Type shit. Like you need to sit there and do that. Not.
Yeah, once you that low, it's only up.
What made y'all move to the Bay Area?
I was saying earlier, God really brought us here, continuing following faith, because we were on our own in New Jersey, living in our own space. We were both finishing up, like I was finishing up my undergrad, he just finished culinary school, and we both wanted something more because, like I mentioned before, we love where we're from because of family, but we knew the opportunities were very limited, and even the probability of getting tied up with the law was a lot higher, especially for the casual things we were into, simply smoking weed, not even being in like nothing too crazy, just smoking weed and just having a higher vibration is difficult to operate where we're from. So it was like we already knew we wanted to live, but we didn't really want to separate. I had just came from overseas. I went to Africa and Thailand. I had a really great experience because I was doing really good at school.
Yeah, we got to tap in.
So like I had a whole like world shift, and I already was like, I'm out of here, right? But I seen him because he was in the cooking.
Yeah, I was like, I just got a new job at that time. And I was
he was really elevated, but I'm trying to tell you what made me want to really shift our perspective is because he was so into cooking, and I seen how interested as he like wanted to be in this art thing, and that's one thing we mutually both wanted to do outside of me being good at school and him being good at like cooking or whatever. We both wanted to be in the art world.
Right.
So he was telling me he got this opportunity in New York to go to this Academy of Arts joint. I was like, you know, I'm gonna go with you, so you don't gotta go by yourself. Because we had some experience where with our roommates where we already feel like, damn, it's really just us. Not against the world, but it's like we gotta support each other. You feel me?
Splitting rent by the time we left,
it was just me and him.
Damn, they just fucking split out.
Nah, like it was a situation where one like not to go into because they're beautiful people, but like it didn't work out. Like I'll say that. Like long story short, it didn't work out. You feel me?
But they were in the situation where they had a choice to stay there or go home.
We had no
that
choice.
Home.
Like they could go back to mom and dad.
That was
like we literally had to. We were sharing our room with our grandma's house, one bed, and we after a situation that happened where we was like, we too fucking grown. Like I'm not like I live like we had to split this up. So we was going from crib to crib, crib to crib, crib to crib, crib to crib. Like that shit is annoying. You feel me? So like no. So just
especially
the boss
when
stuff.
You got shit to do. You gotta be at work. You gotta go to school. It's not like you just like, I'm gonna just lay low here until it's bad.
Nah, you gotta get to it.
No, like I'm up at 6 in the morning and I don't come home until like 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Real tough.
And I just lay here. It's like that shit is annoying as fuck. That's uncomfortable as shit. You go to school and you looking at niggas not doing their homework, and I'm like, nigga, you got a fucking crib, nigga. What the fuck you tripping, bro? I had work. I don't even know where I was gonna sleep today. You feel me? But I still got this easy ass shit done. You feel me? Like you got me fucked up. That shit drew out. Like you see how I got hyped. Like that shit drew out so much flame for me to get the fuck out of there. You feel me? Because it was like to a point where I outgrew my space, and it was just like, where are we gonna go at this point? Not how, because we already had the tools to get the fuck up out of it. You feel me? Because that's why niggas was working so hard. So that's why we decided Cali, because we was like,
notice he said Cali because we didn't even know, like, we didn't know, because we never been here. We don't know nothing. We just like know California, you could smoke, and it's burritos out here. Like that's all we know.
That's two.
So,
two
but I'm
keeping
keeping it 1,000. Like the reason why we came to the Bay and not LA is because the way we are as people is like, if everybody's going this way, we gonna go that way. So like everybody was like LA, so it's like, you know what? Let's go to San Francisco. Like we don't know nothing about it.
I got into school out here.
But you could have went to LA too.
What school was that?
Academy of Art University.
Downtown.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't think they had what I wanted to do in LA or something like that. But either way, I was like, because they had the one I wanted to do in New York or Philly, but I was tired of it.
Was it just straight culinary, or was it like some?
Nah, it was
it was
completely left. It was completely right or left.
Yeah, how did help me figure out, like, so you was doing this, you was doing the chef. He was like super good, super smart in school and everything. How did that mesh between like, okay, now we really want to focus on the art? Like,
well, I was always like, I went to school like we were always in the arts, but it was just a different type of art. Like I'm like undergrad philosophy, economics, so I'm liberal arts. Like I'm a free thinker, poet. Like I've always been into, like I'm a great writer. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That's why I'm humbly good at music, because I'm a writer. You know what I'm trying to say?
So did you see your cooking and your food as like your art? You're like putting your twist on things?
Yeah, I'm like just an artistic person.
You got a good touch.
Period. So
Right.
I do a lot of
Yeah.
artistic shit. So like cooking was just another way cool of me to bring that out.
Yeah.
Cause like you can be stiff as hell cooking. I see hella stiff people cooking.
Real shit.
You feel me? And then I see a hell of people who are artistic but can't cook for shit. So it's just like me trying. That's where I figure out my balance of me like being good at something and then naturally being good at something. So it's just like if you were a person that was naturally athletic but actually trained to be good at one thing, you feel me?
Yeah.
Then your athleticism is gonna naturally come out of you. You feel me? In
Yeah,
situations, it's like a subconscious thing too. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
even
natural.
like, oh, I'm gonna be athletic here.
Right.
It's just like, no, I'm
Let me do
just.
some cool athletic shit.
Yeah, it just happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit happens real quick. But yeah.
Were you always like tight with that kind of like motion between y'all two, knowing that like we always gonna be connecting at like doing the art, or was it more so that one time that it just like clicked?
Well, basically the way our relationship is, we know we're gonna be connected to do whatever we do. Rather if it was art, rather if it was going to dominoes, whatever the fuck it was.
Y'all brothers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's older? Or y'all twins?
No, I'm older.
Okay.
I thought you were twins. I'm not
A
gonna
lot
lie.
of people think we're twins, and a lot of people think he's older too.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, a lot of people
That's
think
good.
he's the older one and we're twins.
I got twin sisters, so I already caught the twin vibes. I was like, okay, all right, I'm
But that's how we've been moving, really, from that. I mean, that's how I was raised.
Right.
We were always taught that really we really have, and it's crazy how God has shown us that. Like I'm talking about, like even through our parents. Like our parent, we love our parents, but like this is the team. You feel me? Like
your siblings are like the ones you
this is
really
the
go
team,
to, confide in,
you feel me?
talk
Like,
to. Yeah.
and I'm just blessed because we have tons of family, like have relatives, and like we're always reminded of how like blessed that how strong our relationship is, and at times it's a reflection, and it's what keeps us going, because like we're human, like we go head to head, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, okay, we really realize in order for us to get to the next step, we just need to support it. Not that we need each other, because we don't need each other.
Yeah.
But if we continue to support each other, we can really take our lives to the next level. Like we can really help each other out. You feel me?
We played sports growing up, so we played the same sports. So
that competition was always
yeah,
there.
it was competition
Not between us,
but we also
we
had
never played
practice with
against
each
each
other
other,
too.
yeah.
So it's also like we would go at it, but also like I would be learning at the same time.
Right.
And then I guess like in
It
certain
is
situations, he would be learning at the same
competitive, but
time.
it's
It'll
not
be
like-
like, because it was like I was really good at baseball growing up, and he was really good at football growing up, and he was like I was aggressive.
What position you play baseball and what position you play football?
Well, I played everything.
Yeah, but your main position.
I played pitcher
Right.
and then
Shortstop.
like shortstop. But like I said, like my favorite, honestly,
Yeah, he
like,
was nice.
But-
He was
You
nice.
got a cannon in that
But the
motherfucker.
thing
But
is,
I like first base is the best. Like so I like
First
I
But
like,
let me
I
say
like
this
catcher.
though.
I started
It's
going
not
to
the same
catcher.
body. He was really. This is a
Oh, I
chubby.
used to
No,
think
fat
that-
boy.
I was
real
like,
brown.
I was like
Pitching.
25.
Real butterball.
Hey.
Team dropped the pitcher.
Yeah, bro. He's nice, bro.
Like, you know,
he's
like
the most
CC,
athletic
like
out
CC.
there.
Oh, you CC Sabathia?
He's
Like
a
a big
decent
boy.
bastard.
You
But
can't
that
the
is
swag
CC
and the
playing
J's
shortstop.
backwards hat.
Like that shit, I used to
Yeah.
break
Baggy
physics when I was doing that
Yeah.
shit. They
He
be
was
like, how is
watching
this
the
fat
sand
nigga
line.
playing shortstop, bro?
They see you come out, man. Who the fuck is this nigga?
Bro.
Throwing heat.
Yeah.
And they used to like think I was like some Puerto Rican boy out there going crazy.
Yeah, that is because y'all was East Coast.
Yeah.
Like,
Look at this
You feel me?
Dominican
So,
motherfucker,
they-
man.
yeah, they
I will
got
say one thing that was dope. It just dawned on me now. Like, though we are competitive, like even right now, you're talking about like we gonna go back and talk about waxing and like some video games, or whatever. though I'm happy that we're raised that it wasn't like I never wanted to see him lose though.
Yeah.
I wanted to see him win, so like I always was opportunities to still root for him. Like I'm on the sideline.
Right.
Yeah,
like my brother, the best pitcher. You know what I'm saying? Like the only person.
We're not on the same team.
Like, exactly.
How many? What's the year difference?
3 years.
Okay.
3.
So like there'll be times I would be able to practice on this team. They would let me like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
But come on, bro.
But what made him nice was that he was always like, even with our friend, like the friends that we hang out with, we always have our own friends, but we really have a lot of the same friends, and he always was like, so I'll give you an example. He would come up a year, even though not to play with me, he would even come up a year advanced to play football with the next level, because he's not saying he's advanced, you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, even with my friends, like even though we're 3 years difference, and that's not that far apart, but when you're younger, it is.
He kept up.
Yeah, from high school, exactly. So like, he was already in high school 3 years, you know what I'm trying to say?
Pretty much,
He was
ahead
in
of
high
his time.
school.
When he turned 18, I turned 18.
When he was in college, when I
it
was in
like
college,
all my shit got cut off. I was like, word, that's how y'all doing
No,
it?
that's foul though, because I had to wait hella long to get a cell phone. The day I got a cell phone, I got one the same day. Bullshit like that.
You was sending.
I got it in my back pocket, like, yo, this nigga had a cell phone the same day. I'm like, yo, I had to jump around the world to get my shit.
That shit was hella cool though. I was giving out my cell phone number in like the 5th grade.
Right.
I was like, yo, call me.
Hit me.
Call my crib. Call me.
I had the Nokia
His
phone
phone was low key.
back.
No, that's the phone I had. He had
LG.
the color
screen.
screen. His phone was better than mine,
He
bro.
made the clip.
I was sick.
Why they do like that?
Yo,
They do
nigga,
that.
that's what I'm saying. That's
When we
how
called, he had a ringtone
that's what I'm saying. It was 2 sides if you played at the time. You feel me? But
Yeah, I'd be salty too if I had
to talk. I had to push it talk. I was
Yo, at
next
one
to
time, like 8th grade, my dad had his line, my mom had my
That's
line,
what I'm saying.
and then my dad was like, I'm gonna get you a phone too. So I was like, oh, for real? Well, I'm like, this one. Yo, I had
He got
2
you.
phones in 8th grade, just like, I'm chirping on this motherfucker, texting with the pictures on this
Original
motherfucker.
phone.
Really trapping out here. Yeah.
Yo, that shit was great.
Really with the 2 phone, man.
That's the benefits of being a little.
That's the younger brother.
Right, yeah.
You set the pavement for him. You set the route.
But it's all love.
It's
I ain't know
Nah, that's good. So were y'all always like doing like music until like this point, or was it
Nah,
like
so
from
we
the start?
That
dabbled
apartment
it.
that we lived in, we started music after, when we moved
Cause
into
we
our
was
first
always
house.
rapping, like, you know, like freestyling in the car, and we try to make a couple songs. We had like a little group, like in '09 with my homies. That was kind of cool, like, you know, off the garage band, just rapping in the microphone. It was cool though, like we tried. Then like we all went, my homie, he actually was doing this thing, shout out my homie Amir Fly. He was doing this thing, and then I continued to rap, and then we just decided to kind of take it to another level, because I got into a position where I was rapping with producers, and the producers was acting weird, like they didn't want to give me their beats. So I was like, I'm so competitive. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna make my own beats then. And I just started making my own beats. Like, well, it took me a minute, but I'm gonna keep it real. I couldn't get it at first.
Yeah.
Until I seen him get it.
I was making my own beats.
He was making the beats,
and I was just learning basically
because I couldn't get it at
how to
first.
understand the instruments and how to actually make my 8-bar loop a song. And then when I started making songs, and I ain't gonna say I was out here making slaps, but I was learning how to
Just structure
music. You know what I mean?
That's important.
So then actually, then I started getting my groove, and I started making some songs, and then he just started that's where that the competitive stuff comes in, but it's like not a competitive thing. It's like, man, like that's fire. I want to do that too.
Honestly, it's a breath of fresh air,
but
because it's like it's more like it's like something we just got into recently. Like it's more like if my brother can do it, it's not that I can do it too, but it's like, okay, I can do it too. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say? Not to be better. Even with cooking, even though I draw a line, like I give it that to him and my dad, but it's not like I can't cook. Right. You know, I can cook, You know what I'm saying? I don't go
But
to
you
the
don't
levels
know.
that to their thing. So it was like with the beats, it was like once I seen that he could get it, I was like, I know I can get it because we come from the same cloth type of thing.
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from. It's like we come from the same. We come from the same.
And it's
blood,
like that's
you
how
feel
we
me?
were in sports. Like,
Yeah,
you want
it's
to play
powerful.
linebacker?
Yeah, it's like I know I can
You
get
want to play
it.
pitcher?
you
I'm
know?
playing pitcher. You play
Exactly.
shortstop? I'm playing shortstop. Like I didn't learn other positions until he started playing. And if not, I would have kept playing shortstop and pitcher. He played catcher. He played third base.
Yeah.
And it's like he
Same
played.
cloth but different styles.
Yeah, so I'm
Exactly.
like, oh, let's see what's
It's
good with
like
this.
for y'all that dynamic really like hit crazy. Like it's elevating y'all. It's really like pushing y'all to y'all like highest level that y'all could be. Yes, that's fine.
And that's honestly what we came to, cause like we were doing the music thing. At first we pushed his tape first, and then I pressed my tape,
Pressure.
and it was fire. But we was like, we ain't really gonna be anything until we really like come together. We gotta like really break. And as soon as we dropped that last tape, it was like confirmation. You feel me? Like we gotta continue to, and we have a plan where we're gonna continue to drop stuff separately. But the mindset of like, we gotta like really thug this shit out. Like we really gotta uplift each other on some
Sure.
shit.
Drop the tape for the people. Drop the tape name so they know how to check that
The
out.
tape is fire for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Check it out, The Sweet Life at X and Ohziii, all streaming platforms. We just dropped a video a couple weeks ago. Shout out to my homie Tiandre, XI Visuals, dripping Z4L. It's not hard to find. ZootyWorld.com. You feel me?
Tap
Yeah,
in.
y'all can find
Yeah.
anything.
Sweet
Y'all can
Life
find the
and
merch.
Exactly.
Y'all can find the
Life
goddamn
and,
water, man.
X and O's.
It's crazy. Shout out to Zooty Water, man. Give us a story behind the Zooty Water. You say we staying hydrated, man. Big Zooty Water, you know.
Pure energy, health, and wealth. The Zooty Water.
Gang.
Alkaline, real healthy. Shout out to Dr. Sebi. You feel me?
Big pH balance.
Look, we gotta keep it organic. Stay healthy.
What's the inspiration behind it?
I was like, you can jump in that segment.
So it started.
He's the mad scientist behind it.
Man.
It started with honestly getting my pH levels right because it was the coronavirus and I had to ask myself some questions. I didn't have it or anything, but I had to ask myself like.
Yeah, we check temperatures at the door, you know.
I just had to ask myself like what a lot of real people. I mean, a lot of people probably did some real questions like if it were to be like if this was it, am I doing it right? Like, and I had to just keep it real with myself like. Nah, and my health really wasn't there. Even though I've been a vegetarian for now like 7 years, I still 8 years.
Oh, y'all both vegetarians.
Yeah, but it was still like you could be a vegetarian and not eat healthy. You could like I found out I was being a vegetarian and very acidic. You know, I was drinking coffee and drinking alcohol consistently. I would drink, especially going to grad school. I would drink coffee every day from like 5 a.m. to like,
that shit builds
I'm
up.
gonna feel it tomorrow. I'm like,
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I gotta sweat this shit out.
Fact.
Right, I gotta run a mile right now.
But no, basically I took a water fast. I did a 7-day water fast and had nothing to do with me thinking about Zooty Water. It was literally me just getting my mind, body, and spirit right. I'm a firm believer in God and just me growing in my relationship and asking myself like, not what could I do my better, like crying now, but like helping me continue to guide me, pouring wisdom into me. You know, and I asked for wisdom on my birthday. I promise you, this is a real story. Like on my birthday, I was basically, God came to me and he asked me what I wanted, and I said, I asked for your wisdom, And the reason why I asked for God's wisdom, I keep it real, is because I was really faithful and I was reading the Bible, and I just happened to be reading Solomon. And I'm not like I'm reading the Bible, I could do better. I'm not like a super, like, don't get me wrong, I don't have it right. Like, I don't read the Bible that much. I would want to read a lot more. I was reading the Bible, I was reading Proverbs, and that's what I learned from Solomon. I love Solomon because Solomon is like, it's like an OG spitting game to you. It's literally, if you just sit back and read it, it's just like somebody spitting pure game to you. So I was just listening to him, listening to the word, and then I had that moment, and then I went on the water fast, and God was like, okay, if you want to sustain this energy, focus on your health. Drink more water, because water itself is pure energy, which I can go into more about pure energy, which is unconditional love. Unconditional love, that is God, because God is love with no condition. You feel me? So basically,
Parts.
I was like, how do I sustain this life? Stay healthy, drink more water, focus on your acidic levels, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, first I was just drinking alkaline water. My homie put me on a cleansing fast where I did like some alkaline water, pink Himalayan salt, where like was an instant detox. It made me throw up like a lot of acid.
That shit was crazy.
But from that point on, I was like in a different mindset. I'm like, oh, I'm really in the shits right now.
You
Like,
seen the summer?
yeah, like I'm really in some shits right now.
You did
Like,
it too?
if you pay attention.
Oh shit.
So like I
Wow,
from there I just.
I didn't do the full fast,
So,
but
yeah.
I did the cleanse.
But by
And
the
just-
fourth day though, it came to me
Yeah.
because I was like, I felt really good, and I was like, how can I be able to share this with people without freaking them out? Because God was talking to me
Like
through water. Like
on
I'm
his
talking about
birthday,
in my
like,
kitchen
you know
sink,
how you,
though.
like-
Shit was bursting through. I'm talking about, dog, like real shit, bro.
It sounds like
water,
a crazy shroom
bro.
trips.
And no, for real. And I took psychedelics, and I was off no drugs, bro. That's how I know I was having a moment, bro.
That's fine.
It was around my birthday, so I knew
When
it
your
was
birthday,
like,
bro?
it was May 20th.
May
You feel
20th.
me?
Yeah, okay.
So it was like I knew something was happening, and I pay attention, bro. Like I know
Yeah.
where I'm from, and meaning like the way I'm here is a dream, bro. So
Yeah.
I already know like what's happening right now is like real. So
it was sounding crazy, like.
and he's looking at me like Keith is
Like,
too turned.
but the
That's my
thing is,
name. I
it was
like,
sounding
he's too turned
so
up.
crazy, but true.
Like, he
it was
turned
like,
up.
I'm not even
I believe
going
in
to say
science,
nothing
too.
to pop him on his bubble because
Yeah.
it was like, it was make, you know, like his birthday, so you know right now niggas act on their birthday, you know what I mean? But then it was also like this energy, and I was like, man, I do feel more energy and birthday energy, so I'm gonna just let it ride. I'm gonna just learn from this, and then like I was like, why? As he was going through, I was like, I'm gonna see what's going on. I kind of tapped into it too, and I was like, oh wow, this nigga is kind of on some shit. He kind of talking crazy.
Right. You
Nigga
just gotta
sound
listen to him.
like Kanye.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
got, you got
Kanye-
Like, these niggas on
He be
Kanye
talking.
shit. What I mean by that is just like, just whatever you're thinking, you're speaking. So like, I was just like, this nigga, he was just like going crazy, but it was just like, man,
Kanye's extreme
all
version,
these,
but yeah.
but just
But
what
the thing
I'm
is,
trying to say is just,
I don't look like I pay attention. Me and him share a lot of characteristics though, just because of our energy is around the same time.
Right.
So the way in which we express ourselves is not that far off that it would be similar. So not to cut you off,
it's good.
by day 3, I figured out. Well, not figured out. I came to the conclusion that I wanted to share this with the world, how I was going to do it. And then the praying that I had first was a little bit way more crazy. It sounded, I had to like really focus it in.
Had to reel it in.
Because I was really thinking that I had to really just come back into like where I'm at in this world. And basically I had to just do my research, and it started with just alkaline water, and me doing my research, understanding what made alkaline waters good, was basically understanding the significance of the hydrogen molecule and
Big scientist.
and how to activate the
Real mad
hydrogen
scientist.
molecule. And that's what Zooty Water is. Everything that I say it is, that we say it is pure energy, health and wealth. It's solarized, structured alkaline water. And what that means is that the water is activated naturally with the sun's infrared energy. That's why I put it in the blue glass, because the blue glass protects it from the UV wavelength energy, and only allows the infrared energy to be able to activate it. And the infrared energy is the most beneficial wavelength to activate the hydrogen molecule for water. So when I make the water, it's sitting in glass tanks, and if you were to have this like a 6-pack, I have the glass water, so you can just pop it in the sun if you wanted to get the maximum benefits of it. But the reason I took it that far is because I've done my research and I've seen that, because I was about to invest in the Kagan machine, go all in. We about to still do the Zooty Water. And not even because it wasn't more expensive, because I was right there getting it. I really came across like, this is like a more beneficial way, because if you think about how water even comes off, like how it runs off the springs, the minerals. So the one thing that makes my water different between water that comes from the Kagan machine is that you can even do your research. The Kagan machine is a beautiful machine, but at the end of the day, it depletes the water from its minerals. So in the long run, you're not really getting the maximum benefits. Where my water actually has a mineral boost. Because when the titanium and that scientific, it's basically artificial alkaline water, because even though the machine is dope, it's tricking that hydrogen versus we can have that by the sun.
Naturally, just
you know what I'm saying?
Reacting with
but I don't, you know, so it's more, the process is more to it, but that's the basic science to it.
Man, that's crazy, dog.
Oh, you guys got like a little farm, a little garden?
No, like our shit that we eat on the
on Earth.
Like we eat like on the most popular shit, like weed and all that shit, bro. Like it's all manipulated into its own little incubator to grow faster and all that shit, bro. It's just like
okay. Y'all starting your own urban garden in this bitch or something, huh?
Man, but that's why like Zooty Water, I love Zooty Water, and I'm really like proud of my brother for doing that, because us being creators, it makes us want to dive deeper into what do we do naturally, what do we do naturally, and then what and how can we brand it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
How you monetize it?
So like, what do we like to do? You know what I mean? We got music covered, we got water covered, because that's like, we like to do lifestyle type things. You know what I mean? So you already know, like clothing and everything else is
the merch is dope.
follow.
Yeah, shout out to the
Definitely copy a hoodie.
And that shit is just going back.
And this is the main thing about, like, because this is what I want to get to about why alkaline, what pushed me over to why I want to share it, is because, and you can even check facts,
fact check, bro.
or research, whatever you want to do. Sickness, disease can't survive in an alkaline environment, right? So it doesn't matter if it's diabetes, if it's cancer, is whatever. If your pH level is, and you have to work on it, you know, it doesn't happen overnight. It starts with your diet and drinking water, and you don't have to necessarily go vegan and be a vegetarian to be an alkaline, whatever you want to call yourself. It's about the balance. Sickness and illness can't survive. So I'm not saying this is the cure to sickness or coronavirus, but if you have this lifestyle, you have this mindset of like, I'm gonna be alkaline. You're putting your probability of getting sick from any disease.
Giving yourself the best chance.
The best chance. I'd rather be on that team than the team who's scared and not knowing what's going on. So that's why I can walk around with no mask and be confident, because I know the work that I'm gonna put in. You know, I'm gonna drink water. I'm gonna take my sea moss, black sea, and eat good. You know what I'm trying to say? And I am a vegan. I'm not saying I'm a vegan by the terms of vegan. I don't eat dairy. Like, that's not in my diet. I treat myself like, because I'm a human. I'm from the East Coast. If I want a slice of pizza, I'm gonna get a slice of pizza. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know, I'm half Italian. Like, my mom's Italian. That's where I was raised off of pasta and pizza.
Vegan Nazi. You're not a vegan Nazi, and then you just living your life with conscience, like with a purpose. Like,
you vegan Nazi, don't come for my man's neck.
Yeah, moderation. That's the key to life, right? So,
you know what
I mean? That's how we should like do everything. Just not overindulge in too much, so we can appreciate it when we do have it.
It's all about balance.
But I'll make that exceptions with the with meat though, only dairy. I don't fuck with it.
Yeah, you like fucking. Yeah. So like when you talk about like you got the Zooty Water, y'all got the merch, y'all obviously trying to build a brand. Shout out to ZootyWorld.com that they just shout out to the digital. Like, how do you feel like with the creative agency? I see that y'all trying to promote yourself almost as like a full camp. That hey, like if what you need, we got it.
You really paid it.
You really said it. I see what y'all trying to do out here. You see what y'all trying to do, man.
That's fire that you and honestly, I'm so like, my heart is so big. Like, outside of this, I really want to build with y'all, because the reason why I have that there is because I know how hard it is for artists who want to be able to do stuff, to be able to get the support. And look, I know it's hard. I'm not from here,
right? So,
and I'm blessed because I've been able to make the relationships and put in the work to be able to have somewhat of momentum.
Right.
But I work with a lot of artists. You know what I'm trying to say? And it's hard. You know what I'm trying to say? And I see a lot of things and I hear a lot of things. And it's like, cause I'm not outside of artist, I'm a producer and engineer. So I'm in a chair where I work with a lot. I wear a lot of different hats. You know what I'm trying to say?
This dude in a community.
Yeah, I'm in the community.
He be out here.
I mean, you know, and you know, so but the thing is,
I'm like, yo.
the reason why we started,
I don't know how you do
the
it.
reason why we started
that
that
is motivated.
is because because I know there's a lot of talented people, and I know how to recognize real from fake. And if somebody who is going to meet me where I'm at, that's somebody who I want to work with. So the reason why the talent agencies that we have is I have a community, it's not just me, of other artists, and we have a space. It's just an opportunity for us to be able to streamline and connect artists to certain things to help them bring their dreams to life. So if you need to record, you need a photographer, you need a place to throw your event, you need help with storyboarding a video, we got you.
That's real shit.
You know what I'm trying to say? And if you want to take it further, you can be part of the gang. But if you want to just be able to just be pointed in the right direction, we that's what we're here for. And versus like me, because I wanted to really start a management company where I help some of the artists manage their music, not so much the artist side of things, but just like help them as far as releasing their music. But I felt like that would be too much on me because I'm an artist myself, but I still want to support them. So it's even if they wanted, the same artists that I work with, if they want to just hit me up and go on a hike on some self-care shit, I'll be there to do that because like I know what my purpose is. But I had to find a way to like streamline and give myself boundaries because I felt like I was being taken advantage of. But now that I'm moving like a business and a talent agency, I felt like there's just that boundary that is established now, and I don't have to psychologically feel like, okay, now when I'm with this person, it's intentional. I'm helping this person. It's not like they're acting like they're hanging out with me to just see what I'm doing and running off with my sauce.
Fully
and then not giving me credit.
They got their own way. They're just trying to,
And bro, it happens a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Or then people
That's
realize
real
as creatives, like out here, like you definitely.
But now it's like I've been
It's
creating
love.
a platform.
It's
Now it's like I don't
love.
care.
It's
I don't
love.
care now.
It's not a negative.
Click the link in the
It's
bio.
honestly, it's
You feel me?
It's love.
It's
It's
all
all
love.
like, cause like, you just being an artist, and being in the artist world, like, that shit is gonna happen.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the same time, like, if I think it's awesome, and not even like in a boasting way, is the fact that if I can inspire somebody, because that's the reason why I do this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if I inspired you, awesome, because that inspires me to make more, because now I trust in my art more.
You're doing the right thing.
You feel me? I don't ever take that shit as negative. It's like, man, I'm
On the right
Hey,
let's go. That nigga can't come over no more though.
He can't slide.
You
down.
it's not even like
that. It's just like I'm thinking
Well,
smart.
you gotta
though.
think,
How I
we're
can
not coming from
make
a
this
place
shit.
where we're at a studio where we actually inviting people in our home.
Oh yeah. It
So
all
that's
starts
why
at
we
the
come
crib.
in. That's why we
It
so
all starts
turned
at the
up.
crib. Yeah.
We actually, these are people, and we got proof it. We have proof. Because if you come to my crib, you look at,
There's over 100
I have
people on
a
our
board with just signatures. So it's not like 2-3 people I'm picking on.
Man.
I've experienced a lot of different situations, is what I'm trying to say. So
It's-
nobody feel like I'm saying this is direct. This is an overall experience conversation that I'm talking about. And I have the
Learning the
proof
business, man.
to show you, because like I've seen so many people come in and out of my own home, bro. And it's like, not all of them are like that. I have beautiful friends and beautiful relationships that exist to this day that we're rocking out and we're helping each other out. But through that, bro, it was just like, instead of me being a negative, it was like, how do I take not even a professional approach, but how do I continue to do what we want to do without being exhausted? Because like you said, you used the word depressed, and I feel like I had moments of where I had faced depression, because I don't even like to say it, because that's how savage I am with that shit now. I'm not depressed, but when I faced depression, how I handled it.
Exactly.
You feel me? it wasn't always this.
It's
It
more
wasn't always like this.
a void. You know what I mean? It's not really. It's like exactly like the word depression is when you don't know what it is, but when you know what it is, then it's like, all right.
Yeah.
And not saying you gotta know what the name of what exactly what it is, but you can identify the feeling.
Exactly.
Then it's like I just gotta push through this void. I know it's temporary, and just get through it. And that just brings you back to your basis of where you come from and where it all started. You feel me? So like that goes back to, you know, I feel like I'm a Karate Kid. You know what I mean? So like I get hurt or whatever, I just got
Yeah,
exactly. Center yourself.
Grab my shit real quick, and I just think about my grandma, my spot I was in before this, niggas that did me dirty, and how happy and how blessed I am to be in the position to even be in the space to ground myself. Because I wasn't at one point. It was so hard to even have the space to zen yourself. You feel me? So
more
like,
people in the
just
studio.
at that point, I just be like, all right.
That was our second. No, here we
when you first started out here.
No, it was like our first year we moved out here. We was on our own, and then we had homies that we had this conversation with back in Jersey. What we were gonna do. We went out a year ahead on our own. We had plans for them to come to go move on to things together, and not to get into it. But it was more like bringing down to get to where they needed to do.
Okay.
You feel what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Sinking shit versus building.
Yeah, exactly. They weren't on the same wavelength.
You know? So we had experienced that where it's put us in a highly vulnerable situation for a livelihood. Where it was like, you feel me?
Either
like,
we elevating or we open
No, it was like, if you don't find a place to live, your ass is on the street.
Yeah.
Like shit like that.
That's tough to deal with as
like,
even as creative trying to
now. You feel me?
It was crazy.
So, but we got through that, and we and you know it's weird because you know God works in His time, and the reason why we went through that was to be able to know where we come from, to remind us, which again is why you want to drink more water so you can remember. Because water's DNA and water's consciousness, so not only can you speak in the water, that's why this water is pure energy, health, and wealth. It will help you remember who you are. And I'm not even talking about in this time. I'm talking about way, way, way back. And we can really, we not there, but we can have moments where we can remember and start to be able to put pieces to the puzzle together. That's the best way I can explain it, because it's like. That's what memory is be able to remember what happened.
Exactly.
You feel me? That's what's really happening now in the time that we're in. A lot of motherfuckers is remembering
all the fucked up shit that, you know,
right? A lot of people are remembering what happened and are activated. That's why like this whole area is gonna come. Yo, it's about to be different. It's about to be different.
Shout out to the age of Aquarius, man. You feel me? If y'all fuck with the Zodiac,
we do. I definitely know indigo children. We out
here. Yeah. You feel me? It's up for sure. Like man, what's one of the craziest psychedelic experiences y'all had before? I feel like
we was just talking about that today.
It was one of the craziest motherfucking ideas. His name is Zooty Gang. I've been hearing in your songs y'all be talking about popping caps.
Popping tails.
Look, we had a couple. I'll tell you this one that is more of a brother funny shit, right? I'm talking about the one mom came home.
Oh my gosh.
So
she
like,
doesn't even know.
Yeah, she still don't know. Right? So like it was where our other homie Dylan, right? We were already had Dibble. We had Hey, we got a homie named Dylan though. So which Dylan is it? You know what I'm saying? So look,
next episode.
So we was out there, we was in my 94 Pontiac Bonneville. That's where we used to do a lot of hot boxing, smoking. That's where we really learned how to rap at. We took some shrooms, bruh. We was outside playing basketball. Shit was lining up.
Each.
Look. We was inside.
You saw the universe.
We was inside. The TV was floating off.
Yeah.
The wall.
Yeah, like you ever watch that 70s show and like when Eric is high with his parents and the wall's like and shit, like that's exactly how that shit.
I'm gonna keep it real. I don't do a lot of like weird shit when I'm trying to use the right word, meaning like I don't really like meaning if it's a tough situation, even if we're gonna lose, like I'm usually like I'm gonna take the L and put it on the chin. Yo, I was so hot. My mom came home, bro. Yeah. I was like, yo, bro,
it was like
I don't know what to do.
3 more hours.
I was like, I'm too high. I'm gonna need you to go out there. Look, I'm gonna act like I'm asleep, bro.
My mom came home.
I was
She took him for the team.
It was like 8 o'clock. It was like 7:30, 8 o'clock. We had the lights out.
Yo, we gonna try to act sleep. We gonna try to act sleep. My mom come home like, why are y'all sleeping? I'm like, yo, go out there.
And my mom being my mom, she
like you still
flick the lights on.
Like someone, at least one of y'all come help me with the groceries. Like, come talk to me about my day or whatever. I'm like, oh my god.
He's like, oh.
Because I was like, yo, I'm gonna get us caught. Because you know how, like, the reason why I don't want to go out there is because I can't hold back. Like, I know he can hold his composure better than me. I'm gonna spill the, I'm gonna let her know. Not that I let her know we high. I'm gonna figure out. I'm gonna figure out. Yo, but she called him too. She was looking. She was like, "Wait, all I hear is I'm in the bed. I'm in the bed like this. I'm like this."
Nah, she ain't catch
No, but she said this. Are you high? I'm
open
my eyes. I'm like, oh shit. This is
But nah, it wasn't like as soon as I went out there, like I had a
like you're high. I know
conversation. I had a full on like just chilling because I had that split moment of I could act weird or I could just talk.
You
know what I mean?
Just talk, and
I was like, just talk, and my high ass was like, just started talking, and he was flowing in conversation because I'm shrooming.
You felt the energy. He was like, yeah.
I'm shrooming. We moving shit, and I was just like, but I'm chilling the whole time. I'm not like trying to do. I was like, don't do too much. And then like out of nowhere, she was like, she felt how cool I was in the conversation.
Right,
she was like,
too
yo, are you high? I was like, nah, wait, what?
Record scratch?
Alright.
Mom, come on, don't play that.
I'll tell you right now.
I'm gone. You're like,
she got two heads and
I got like 3 more hours worth of tripping, so I already know. Like, when she pulled up, I was like, I had these black socks on. When she pulled up, I had like little black kittens on my feet.
Y'all had the visuals.
I remember that.
It was just hella cute.
Right.
I was like, bro, I don't even say that, bro. These kids is
cute as a motherfucker.
And I can't move my feet because I'm gonna disturb them.
Yeah.
And then she pulled up, and I'm like, oh, the kids. Oh man. This is bad. So that's how high I was. Like I was gone, man. But
not the kids, bro.
We still played it off. Like even if she thought I was, it was never a thing. And my mom the type of like, not in my house type shit.
Yeah,
so it's like
investigator.
So that whole shit would have been blown up.
Yeah,
it would have been fuck the shrooms. She would have found my weed. She would have found other shit like that.
Fuck the shrooms.
Yeah, it would have been shut down for sure.
Man, that's fucking crazy. The visuals, man.
Yeah,
the visuals. And even the shrooms is a lot though. Look
we was playing basketball.
Yeah.
We wasn't
right that way no more though. Like I mean, if I
that
were
strong,
they fake Zooty.
No.
They fake Zooty.
We too Zooty. That's why. Honestly, that's why I'm not taking them right now because the energy too crazy. But if I were, it's more of a microdose.
Yeah,
because microdose is because I ride the wave. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because if I
Especially
go there.
Yo,
I'm trying to tell you,
get your
I be
waves
seeing some
like,
shit, bro. I be going to different worlds, bro. I be going in the Matrix, bro.
You can smoke and drink, and your stomach feel like chill. Like it's not like you like you feel like
I really feel you.
Like a distance where it's like yeah, like you tapping into people.
But with the microdosing, I feel like I can get that too, and it's a little bit more like it's still there, and I feel like it's just like. It's more.
I used to take that shit before work.
Emotional. It's more emotional versus
because like my homie had like this, like
or completely like where you are in a different form of reality.
Take like 6 of them. Really feel something. I used to take like 3. I was at work like, yo, I'm grooving today. Like I'm feeling great. Like I don't even need no coffee. Like I'm good. Like whatever I smoked was that shit.
Right, not realizing it's fucking 3 capsules.
I'm like, yo, I'm high as shit at work. Yo, I'm shroomed. This is great.
Fucking videos.
This is awesome.
Yo, too. Like I can see that in y'all shit. Like I'm watching one in like I don't know if it was the Elsa Gandhi or some other video with y'all in that bitch like got doubles, y'all got colors. Like you got one where you playing an instrument and shit. Your eyes goddamn get wide as fuck.
That's Zooty World.
That's the which one?
That's Zooty World.
Zooty
You know
World.
what I'm saying? No, I'm saying that's the world. Like
Oh,
that's the vibe we want to bring people when they watch our videos. It's like that. Like I don't want to. We don't want to take them too trippy, but we want to bring it. Feel like like I really could see your eyes pop. Like I could see that. Like I've seen some stuff like that. Where it's like real. It's like real. It's real, but it's also like psychedelic. Like it's that fine line. You know, I want to keep.
That's the thing about tripping. Like, so tripping is really going on a trip. Like, and I explain this all the time. Like, when you go to Jamaica, like say if you were going to Jamaica, right, and you're on a trip, and you do things that you don't do when you're at home, right? Say it's drink coffee or smoke in the morning or whatever. When you go home, you have that option of bringing what you brought back from your trip to your daily routine, or you can completely forget about it and leave that trip there. That's what shrooms are to me. And shrooms, so when I see things, I don't take it as like I know I'm tripping, but I know at the same time this is like a reality to me. So it's not bullshit. So it's like when I'm not tripping, I can still see it. I just gotta dig a little deeper. But sometimes you can just catch waves. You know what I mean? Really, and you be like, or when you watch things now, you don't watch them for what they are. Like I definitely can't watch Space Jam no more.
Oh yeah,
that's not one of my.
We love it, but we had a moment.
I had a trip,
but until the Last Dance, came Michael Jordan.
Yo.
Before that, Michael Jordan, I wrote Michael Jordan.
Yeah, not even like
it was
No,
weird.
that makes sense.
But like
it was like, didn't really know about him.
No, we did know about him. We knew too much about him. That's what it was.
Like, yeah, we had
it was like it was more of the consumerism of Black America. Like what is he really doing for us type of shit.
With the Jordans. And
versus like what he's overcome and like he might just be like kind of tired. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I get it now. Like bro, I get it.
Though,
but at the same,
it's like a way more like
deep dive
perspective. Because to me,
I grew up.
I mean, more like an economical way of looking at it. Like he wasn't doing anything for Black people.
Did that, and I learned a lot since that time. And it's just like you know what?
That was how I used to look at it. But he has done a lot for Black people. Because you got to think, just the ability, like it's okay to be able to say that kids look up to Michael Jordan. It's sad that that's our only, like at some point that was our only option, but that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, bro. Yeah. Like, but there's so many more options in that world, and what he did accomplish was like that was beautiful at that time. We should be proud of that, and that's why I could never like write him off for that because like that makes me proud because like we should champion for that. Yes, there's other dynamics, of course, but yes.
Just the overall hype, though, kind of like.
And that's my favorite players.
Kind of like went down, and not in a negative way. Like because I used to collect sneakers, like Jordans, hella Jordans,
crazy, huh?
Big Jordans,
and and it was just like, man, I just found out a different perspective out of him, and it was just like, man. People ain't shit, man. They just put him through hell. Man. I feel hella bad.
Yeah, I didn't know his dad died until I watched that shit.
Not like that.
Like that. The way he died is like, it's hard. How did he not turn out to the person, you know what I'm saying, you are? It's like, you know what I'm saying?
But only because I was really like, you know, obviously we're all kids, but like, I was so, you're oblivious to those big things. You know, because like when you're a kid, you're all pure energy. You're just looking at the game of basketball and like team mascots and favorite colors and shit like that. You're not like worried about like the inner relationships and like the dynamics or even like what was going on outside of basketball. Like even what media in America is like, and like especially during that time. So it's like that shit. Wow, you know, and honestly, that's why it's kind of crazy. That's why. Right now it's kind of like one of the most exciting things because I say this to my homies all the time. It felt like a lot of the things that was in my brain that if you said out loud that people call you crazy, that shit coming to light right now. You know what I mean? Like
it's here.
That shit is coming to light right now.
Man, y'all saw the debate.
I'm dripping on 'em. I'm dripping on 'em. I'm dripping on 'em.